Hey guys. Welcome back to another episode of Just the Podcast. Anik here.
And Star, looking hella humble today.
Oh gosh.
We got some wine.
Yeah, you know, I guess you could start off with the Taylor Port. Sponsor us.
I'm going to just sit real slow on that because, like I told you before, the last time I had that shit, I fucking blacked out.
Well, we don't need you blacking out.
You know this is a cooking wine, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you can use it from what I was told. Don't quote me on that.
Well, niggas is drinking cooking wine. Oh well. I don't care. Tastes good to me.
I'm surprised you like it because it's really sweet. And you don't really like sweet stuff.
Yeah. I don't, but for some reason, like, it's sweet, but, like, you could taste the liquor. Child,
It was a little dot.
Like, crazy. But, like, you know, with sweet drinks, sometimes I feel like I can't taste the liquor because it's just, like, so sweet. But with this, you can, there's an aftertaste. Like, as you're drinking it,
yeah,
you could taste the liquor. Yeah, so,
child.
I mean,
I was about to say something. My brain is just like everywhere. I don't know why. I have so much on my mind.
Oh, really?
No, not like nothing bad. It's just like birthday stuff and then like things like because I'm trying to like think of more like Halloween makeup stuff. So like my brain is just everywhere. But I'm here, y'all. I'm here.
Okay. She's present.
I am present.
So I'll let's start. I mean, so basically, this episode is going to be about two things, right? So the first thing is Star can explain to you what she saw on Twitter. And I mean, we both saw, and then I'll explain like what I saw. We both mutually saw it. So I came across, I don't know if you know Deval and Kadeen.
I love them.
Yeah, so you know they are a growing entrepreneurial family. And, you know, I think he's done, like, movies and stuff, right? He's been in, like, Tyler Perry's shows.
Yeah, he was the stunt devil for Ghost.
Oh, okay.
His double, what do they call them? Like,
stunt double, yeah.
Yeah.
So him and his wife have a podcast together. And I had come across one of their posts. And it was basically talking about...
Wait, which one? Because there was two clips that went around.
Well, the one that I came across was the one that I sent you, which was about why do women feel some type of way when a man like not forces himself, but like is all on top of his woman in a marriage, like in a committed relationship. So they kind of like dissected that. So we're gonna touch upon that because I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, his point of view and then her point of view. So that's one.
The interesting question, because we can start off with that.
Oh, okay.
The way that he asked it, though, I was just like, wait, what? Because he's like, why do women want to get married?
And then have an issue when men are, you know, just, they want sex because he's like, oh, you know, we signed a contract that is just us two. We're in a committed relationship. So, you know, obviously when a man wants sex, it's like, oh, why is it such a pushback? Because I guess maybe he was alluding to a man can go outside the relationship and get it, but I'm here with you in a committed relationship, so like I want you. You know, these are my sexual desires at the moment. And you know, then it kind of like went towards committed relationships or marriage being forced upon by women. And I was just
wait, before you get to that, because I kind of want to touch, like, I want to stay in that thing of, oh, we got married, so this is what you have to do. At the end of the day, when I decide to get married to somebody, that does not mean that I am your sex slave and that whenever you want to have sex, I am just supposed to have sex. There are going to be times where I don't feel like having sex. And as your wife, I'm not obligated to fuck you every single day.
Right.
3-4 times a day. That is not my duty as a wife. And I don't know why a lot of men have this mindset that, oh, well, you're my wife, so you're supposed to do A, B, and C. And it's like, I'm not your slave. Mm-hmm. Slavery ended a long time ago. Like, I don't know why men think like that. Like, that shit. So it was like when he was saying it kind of was just like, it made me cringe a little bit. Because it's like, I'm not obligated. Just like you're not obligated as my husband to have sex with me when I want to, like, you know, like, we both have to mutually want it. Like,
yeah,
if I see that you're not in the mood to have sex, I'm not gonna force myself on you, because it's just not gonna be enjoyable. You know what I mean? But
because they'll feel like a chore.
Yeah, and it's like nobody wants to feel like they're doing chores in their marriage.
Exactly.
Hell no.
And you know, Kadeen, she made several good pointers, because you know, he was like, oh well, you know, you kind of forced the marriage, like forced to get married. And she was like, I didn't force you to get married. Like, you know, he was like, yeah, but you know, you said that you wasn't gonna be like shacking up with me and, you know, for however long, because you wanted to get married. And I was just like, well, and she said, well, I can tell you something, but it's upon you to act on it, which is true. I agreed with her. Like, most women know what they want, and most women, they know that, okay, I want the husband, the kids, or whatever. I just want the spouse. I want the spouse. I want the kids, or I don't want the kids. I want the spouse. Whatever the, you know, dynamic is. So when you tell someone, oh hey, like this is my life path that I have, and this is what I want, you can't really say somebody forced you or coerced you into getting married. Like, it doesn't work that way, or coerced you into a long-term relationship, because that's something that you would want as an individual as well, right? Because you mutually have to want the same things, you know, at some point in line. And she was just like, you know, if she knew certain things when she was in her 20s versus now, she was like, you know, she would have made a lot of different choices. But, you know, she said that with everything going on over, like, you know, I think they've been married for 10 years. So with everything that has transpired within the 10 years and things that they faced as a couple, as a family, you know, career, whatever, she was like, you know, that affects her sex drive. And it's true. Like, depending on how much a person has on their plate and what's going on, sometimes sex is not in the forefront of your brain. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you're just like, when you're tired, you're really, really tired. So if my man comes up behind me, or he's like, babe, or he whips his dick out, like, you know what to do, it's like, well, I'm tired. And you know, some men, they be catching an attitude. They be in their feelings, and it's like, well, when you're tired and you don't want to, I respect it. I don't push up on you and forcefully say, like, give me the D. So why can't, you know, why can't...
PG-13.
Yeah, like, why can't the same be reciprocated for a woman, depending on, obviously, her sex drive and whatever she's going through at the time. Sometimes it could be a hormonal imbalance. It could be a number of things. And, you know, they got kids. So, and even if you don't have kids, right, you could just be a couple that is a traveling couple that does so much that you are just, like, exhausted. And sex is an exercise. So
it really is.
There's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of energy required. So, you know, I just thought it was pretty interesting.
It's crazy, because then we had this conversation yesterday when we went apple picking, and we were just talking about, like, people think that in the beginning relationship, you just gonna be having, like, once you're with somebody, you just gonna be having sex all the time, like, every day. It's just gonna happen. And after a while, like, that's the honeymoon phase, but then it gets to a point where that's not always on your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I want to have sex. Like, it's just like, all right, I just want to watch a movie with this person. I just want to chill with this person. It's like, sex is not, like, the, what is it? Be all, end all? Like,
yeah, the end all, be all. Yeah, it's not.
Like,
your relationship requires more than just sexual interaction.
Yeah, and honestly, nobody really is going to be out here having sex 4 times a day, every day. Like, after a while, like, the shit gets tiring. It's so much that you can do. Just like your friend who said, when she was just like, she all fucked out after quarantine. It's like, okay, how much more fucking can I do?
Yes. Like, what else can your relationship stand on if it's not sex?
Exactly.
You know, that's why when it comes to people who hold out, like, in relationships, like, they hold, whether it's for spiritual reasons or whatever, they, like, hold out with having sex with that person before they marry them. Because I know there's, like, people who, when they're in a relationship with someone, and, you know, it's a sexual relationship as well as a committed relationship, and when they're gonna get married, they're like, well, let's not have sex until we get married, to make it, like, more special, like, you know. So I think that takes a lot, right? Because then you have to find yourself again in the relationship and just come into this awakening of who you are as a person with this other person. Like, is my relationship solely based on sex? Like, is there anything that we vibe? Like, you know, it's just basically everything does not have to have sex involved all the time, you know?
I agree.
And women forcing relationships, to me, I felt like when he said that, I'm like, there are some women who are like, if you don't get with me, then whatever, I'm not dealing with you no more. Like, they give you the ultimatum. But then it's like, can we separate women who are just like, ugh, if we don't get together, fuck you, and women who are like, well, this is what I want, and this is where I'm going. So if you can't meet me there, then I'll find somebody else who wants the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between, you know, a person who just wants to jump in a relationship and a person who is like, okay, well, this is what I want, and I'm working towards that. So I want a person who's working towards that too. So when he was saying the whole thing about force, I'm like, this idea of women forcing men to be in a relationship, because that's been a long conversation.
I'm happy you brought that up.
Yeah,
I've been feeling like that for the longest, and I hate when I hear guys say this, because usually I will always hear guys like, oh, women are always giving men ultimatums. Oh, if you don't want to be with me, I'm moving on. Or I want to be in a relationship, but you don't, so I'm moving on. And it's like, now that guy feels like he's quote unquote have to make an ultimatum, because it's like, well, I like this girl, but I don't want to be in a relationship, so I'm gonna just be with her. And it's like, that's not the girl making you make that decision. That's your decision. If you know that right now you're not ready and this person is ready to be in a relationship, y'all not meant to be at this moment. Who's to say years down the line y'all won't become one? But I don't think that the woman should be looked at in a bad way of giving an ultimatum. It's true. Like, if I've been with you for 3 years and I, at this point, it's like, all right, I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want this. I want that. Yep. And if you're not on the same page as me, it is okay for me to say, hey, this is what I want. If you don't want these things, then I'm out. That is okay for me to say. And whatever decision you want to make, that's on you. But whatever decision you make, you better live with it, because you're not going to sit here and resent me for it.
Exactly.
And I just hate when guys do that. It's like, because if a guy was to do that to me and be like, hey, this is what I want, and I'm like, this is not what I want, I can't get mad if he leaves. I'll be hurt, but I can't get mad. We're on 2 different pages, so why am I going to force something and feel like, oh, this person is forcing me and giving me an ultimatum, now I gotta make a decision? And that's why a lot of people end up in relationships that they're not supposed to be in, because you're forcing the situation. Y'all on 2 different pages. It's okay. Everybody doesn't have to always be like forcing themselves.
That's how you ask me properly. Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, I need guys to stop that. It's not an ultimatum, and stop looking at it as a negative thing. It's really not.
It's because there's so much. I agree with everything Star said, but it's unfortunate that, you know, there are men out there who have this mentality and can't see past the fact that, just like as men, you know what you want out of life. For the majority of men who think that way, that are not lost souls wandering, you know, the universe. But, you know, the same applies to women. Are we a little bit more vocal about when we're ready for, you know, committed relationships, kids, and all that stuff? Yes, and why shouldn't we?
Exactly.
Why shouldn't I be vocal? And also, there's an honesty in it too, because, you know, just like men lead women on, and vice versa happens. Women lead men on too. Because how many times have men said, "Oh, I told Shorty, you know, it was only gonna be this," and she was acting like she okay with it, and then next thing you know, she asking me these questions, or she's like, "Oh, well, you know, we've been talking to each other for a minute, so like, when are we gonna go into a relationship?" And it's like, well, I told you I wasn't ready for a relationship, or I don't want a relationship. So why are you imagining these things in your mind to even ask when we're gonna go into a relationship? So it's just, when somebody's honest and upfront about what they want, especially women, don't always take that as a, oh, if I don't do it, then I'm gonna lose her. Okay, if you're not ready, you're not ready.
Yeah,
don't force yourself to be ready. Which is why Kadeem kind of like her response and, you know, her demeanor, you could tell, like, she kind of took offense because he was just like, oh, well, you know, you forced marriage upon me. And she's like, forced? Like, I didn't force you to do anything.
I didn't tell you to go to school and buy a ring.
I told you this is what I want. If, you know, And then I think there was something also mentioned about, like, you know, certain women who, like, relationships, if you're with the person for a certain amount of time, then, you know, it's like, okay, what's going to happen? There's nothing wrong with that either. Not everybody wants marriage, which is fine. Some people are very content in being in a long-term committed relationship without any marital paperwork. And then there's people who want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if a person says, you know, I don't want to be dating you or be in a relationship with you for 10, 15 years and we not married, and I believe in marriage and marriage is something that I want, I don't know why it's taking you 15 years after this person done said that this is what they want. Because after 15 years, I mean, you already spent 15 years with this person, so you should know if you want this person in your life forever, you know, legally. So I don't know what the fuck that's about.
But that's why it's important to have those conversations when you guys are dating. Like, have these conversations in the beginning, because you don't want to be talking to somebody and then y'all be in a relationship, and then years go by and you sitting here waiting for the ring, and then you find out that this person don't believe in marriage. Then it was like, now do you settle because this is something that you always wanted, but you really love this person? So it's like, all right, well, I don't want marriage either, but is that really what you want? You know what I mean? It happens all the time. And let's be honest, guys give women ultimatums too. Because when you want to fuck a girl and she ain't with it, what do y'all do? Oh, not all guys, but some guys. Oh, well, if you don't want to fuck me, then you have an attitude. It's like you kind of forcing the girl.
Such and such who will fuck me.
Exactly. It's like you pressuring the girl to do what she want to do. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's her decision. But you guys do ultimatums as well, too. So it's like, I feel like guys do a lot of talking, but they don't realize that they do the same shit, too.
Yeah. There's a good portion of men that's like that. And it's crazy. It's just fucked up. But, you know, I just thought that was a very interesting video, because I was just like, yo, this is true. Because, you know, and just to get his mentality as a married man, and, you know, him tying in, well, because, you know, he obviously started it off by, oh, we have a contract that is me and you. So whenever I need sexual gratification, and it's like, why, what is the problem of pushing up on you when I'm horny? And I guess for him, there's a lot that he has to learn along the way as to why that is, because he obviously hasn't gotten there yet in that particular statement. But it was just like, yo, why are men like this? Not all, but some. Like, why is some of y'all like this? Like, oh, I'm pushing up on my girl if she don't want to fuck, so there's a problem. No, there's not a problem. There isn't. Like, folks be tired as fuck out here.
They do.
And especially now in this day and age where the times are evolving and, you know, entrepreneurship is being pushed at an all-time high more than ever. And people who are now realizing their goals, their dreams, things that they want to do, that work is hard.
It is. It takes a lot.
You know, and for them, they branched into entrepreneurship with already having kids. It's not like as soon as they got married that they were like, all right, we're going to be entrepreneurs. You know, they were young. They were in their 20s, but whatever the case may be. Now they're in their 30s with kids. Not 1, not 2, 3 kids. Yeah. So it's not that easy.
It's really not.
It's not that easy, because you have to literally change your whole lifestyle. So, and, you know, you're thinking about all these lifestyle changes and how it affects your kids, how it may affect your husband, how it may affect your marriage, you yourself, your family. There's so many things to think about. Then to think about, okay, I gotta be a good mother, I gotta be a great wife, I gotta be a great sister, auntie. It's a lot of hats. Not saying that men don't wear these hats too, but look at that statement within itself. Oh, why is it a problem when I push up on you?
I'm telling you.
You don't know? You don't know? You still don't know?
Men just, I just feel like they don't really understand women too much, because especially a woman who has kids, it's a lot to be a full-time mom. If she's working full-time, then she got to make sure the house is good, and then you want her to have sex with you when you want to have sex. Like, it's a lot of work. It's not that easy. So if she's tired, she's tired. Don't feel away, and don't like feel like, oh, well, she doesn't want me, she doesn't love me. that is not the case. Bitches just be tired.
Yes.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because I'm sure if your ass is tired and she push up on you, you ain't going to want to have sex. Or you going to be forcing yourself.
Exactly.
Nobody should force themselves to have sex.
Yeah, that just ruins the whole entire moment, mood, everything. It's whack.
But I wonder if guys ever, because I'm sure there are women who give pity sex that is just like, I don't want to have sex, but you keep forcing it, so I'm going to do
I've done it.
But I wonder if the guy would even realize that energy.
I think.
Or they just so focused on busting a nut that they don't even care.
I think it depends on the guy. It depends. For men who are in tune with, especially if this is a person that you've been dealing with intimately for a minute, like, you should know, like, when you guys sexually interact with each other, the difference between that and when she's just not in it. Because that's clear as fucking day. Like, if you can't read the room and figure that shit out, then you're fucking dumb.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should know, like, okay, she's definitely not with it. And then you'll get a guy, they'll ask you, like, you okay? You all right? And they know something's off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, in that instance, that's a man who's in tune. Now, like you said, a motherfucker who just want to bust a nut, he don't give a fuck. So, he's just like, I'm busting a nut. I don't care whether she wanted to do it or not. I mean, obviously, it's going to be consensual. Yeah. But, whatever. She went into this willingly, and if this is the pity sex I'm gonna get to bust my nut, then so be it. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Child.
That's it.
Man, I don't know. I be praying for them sometimes because they minds, like, just how, I just feel like we don't understand each other. Yeah. Like, men don't understand women, and I feel like most women just don't understand men sometimes. Like, we just are two different creatures.
And I don't think it's for me, like, and it's funny because I was talking, I got my lashes done on my lash tech. I haven't done my lashes since, like, actually it was before 2015, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, it was, because I'm remembering, it had to be before 2015. Yeah, it had to be like 2014. 2014, 2013. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so it's because me and her were talking about that too, because we were talking about, like, men dating and all that other stuff. And, you know, we definitely brought up I lost my train of thought.
Because I was saying how we don't understand each other.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And we were talking about that, and we just basically said, you know, relationships are not complicated. Relationships are very easy to have. All you need is the basic structure, the basic foundation.
Let them know what them basics are.
Which is what you ask for in your friends, in your job / career, in a lot of things that we do daily, right? In spirituality, in yourself. What do we ask for? We ask for honesty, transparency, communication. So relationships won't be that hard if you have those 3 foundations and you work on those 3 foundations. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, like, be super blunt and disrespectful, because honesty does not equate to being disrespectful, right? So you build that foundation, then your relationship should be easy going. It's what makes relationships complicated is a complicated individual.
I could agree with that.
You come in with your set of complications, the other person comes in with their set of complications, and because each person is trying to do 2 things: navigate through their own personal shit, and then that person is trying to navigate through their own personal shit, and then together you're trying to navigate through each other's personal shit. Yeah. And you lose the way. You lose the way of what you should be building the foundation on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be a complex individual and still hold all those things accountable to you in a relationship. Because how many times do we hear couples who are together for a long time who say, oh, we barely argue? And what do they say after that? Because we communicate to each other. We don't argue. We don't yell at each other. We communicate. It's that simple. Relationships can be very easygoing, but it's like, you know, people go in with these expectations of this is what this is supposed to be. This is what this is supposed to be like, instead of just gradually letting things take its course upon the foundation that you built on. Okay, Ion, hit me up, sis. Okay.
And people, like, when it comes to communication, people just think communicating is just like, oh, me voicing how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But communication is also listening and understanding as well, because just like you want to communicate your feelings to somebody else and you want them to communicate their feelings to you, you have to be able to understand their feelings and come to a middle ground.
Yes.
Because you can't be a person that's like, oh, I'm all about communication, and then somebody communicates something to you and you have this wall up. Then you're not a good communicator, because it has to be both ways. It can't just be one-sided. So I feel like a lot of people think they're great at communication when technically they're really not, because you're not. Most of those people don't be listening to their partners. It's just like, wall up. Well, I communicated. Okay, well, did you listen to this person? Because you also have to listen to understand.
Yes.
Because if one person is communicating, it's gonna be a disconnect.
Yeah.
So people think that communication is just so simple. Like, oh, okay, we just talk.
It's not.
Yeah, but it's more than just talking. It's listening, it's understanding, it's coming to a compromise, it's understanding each other when you communicate. It's so much more that goes into it.
Yes.
It's not as easy as people think it is.
Exactly.
And that's the key to, like, anything. Like what you said, it's with anything. If you're honest and transparent and you can communicate well with your friends, you should be able to, in your workspace, you should be able to do that same thing in your relationship. It shouldn't be.
It all ties in together.
Yeah.
Like, there's no separation between. Nobody said, oh, honesty is just for relationships. You know what I'm saying? Honesty is honesty. Communication is communication. Transparency is transparency. It's how you apply it to your life.
Exactly.
That counts. That matters. Look at us being the relationship experts, you know?
I know, right?
Hit me up, y'all.
See, and what they say, oh, you can't take advice from your single friends. You can take advice from us.
You know, all the people that talk about they can't take advice from their single friends, they can fuck off. I don't even care. Like, I said it. Because I think we already had that conversation already.
Yeah,
so we're not even going to touch upon that. But I do want to move to what you saw on Twitter, because this is very interesting.
Well, it kind of ties back into, like, we were talking about last week with the whole dating.
Yeah.
So on Twitter, I came across, I don't know if it was a podcast or interview. I don't know what it was, but it was these two girls and these two guys. And the girl was pretty much saying how if she invite her friends out, she's automatically paying for their meal or whatever. And she was like that if she's out with a guy and her friends, that he should pick up the bill for, like, her and her friends. So the guy was just like, whoa. So she was like, you know, like, if I'm out at the mall with my friend and I meet this guy and he's trying to talk to me, he wants my number, and I'm just like, I don't give out my number, you can have my Instagram, and we talking through Instagram and he wants to take me out on a date, I'm gonna be my friend and I'm expect him to pay the bill. If he doesn't pay for me and my friend's meal, then I'm walking the other way. And, you know, for me personally, when I was watching that one, I was just like, well, why would you be bringing your friend on a date? Yeah, like, if a guy is asking me out on a date, I'm not going to bring my homegirl and expect him to pay. That's one. Two, as I'm watching it, I'm just like, why do a lot of women think that men are fucking ATM machines?
Cha-ching.
Like, if we are out and it's me and my homegirl and you and whoever guy I'm dating, fucking whatever the situation is, come or whatever and joins us, I am not going to expect him to pick up the bill for me and my friends. I'm not. If he decides to do that, very generous of you. But I am not going to have that expectation of this is what you're supposed to do. That is not his obligation. And if you taking me on a date, it is not your obligation to pay for my homegirl meal.
Yeah.
If your homegirl is hungry and need a meal, just say that.
Yeah.
You don't gotta just like, oh, well, he's supposed to do this, I'm walking. So I don't know. And the girl looked kind of young. She looked like she could have been a little bit younger than us. So I don't know. That gotta be the next generation now. It can't be our generation, because it was just crazy to me. And I was just like, why do women, I'm probably going to get dragged for this, but I do believe that some women think that men are fucking ATM machines.
But some women do, because we see it all the time. How long have that's always been put out into society, that, you know, the man pays for this, the man does this, the man does this. Basically, the man is a walking dollar sign. Well, walking sign. Yeah, dollar sign. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, when Star had mentioned this to me, like, my face was all screwed up because I was like, first of all, this girl sounds stupid as fuck. And I don't know what kind of mentality that is for you to have. And then for your friend to agree with you in that mentality and thinking that it's okay for her to be you know, at your date and expect her date to pay for you as well. First of all, if I'm going on a date, and like we said, if this had to do with safety issues, there are so many ways one can go about being incognito. Okay, I'm on a date with this guy. This is the restaurant we at. She could be in a car waiting outside if she has a car.
Yeah.
Or she could be, if it's an area where there's more than one restaurant, or if there's a fast food chain, she could be waiting for you there. Or she could be, like you said, at the restaurant, sitting somewhere, sitting at a table. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I remember when Kylie and Jordan were still friends. I don't know if you ever seen that episode. And Jordan went on a date, and Kylie was outside the restaurant in her car, and they had walkie-talkies. Mm-hmm. And then Jordan had an earpiece. It wasn't more so for safety. It was more so, I forgot what it was, why they did that. But that's even another thing too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we live in a day and age in society. I'm not saying that women are not safe. You know, obviously, it's at an all-time high that our safety is always, you know, being just tested. Yes. However, there are definitely ways to implement that. If you solely are there to ensure the safety of your friend going on a date with a guy, you could work that. And I would never, first of all, that's mad weird and awkward for me to tell my friends to come on a date. None of my friends would do that shit.
That's crazy.
Like, none of my friends would even do that shit.
Like, the guy said it in the video. He was like, you need to grow up.
Yes. and even if this would be a good social experiment actually to do. And even if that scenario happened, I still would not expect my date to pay for my friend. If anything, I would pay for my friend. Or I would be like, well, bitch, you said yes to come into this shit. I brought the idea to your attention. Yeah. You said yes, pay for your own shit if you're going to eat and drink at the table.
Mm-hmm. But here's the kicker, though. What she said was, now, if you told me ahead of time that you only got me, then I won't expect you to pay for my friend's meal.
Ahead of time.
But if you don't say nothing, then I'm going to expect you. First of all, if I'm a guy, and I say to a girl, oh, I want to take you on a date. Can I take you on a date? And you bring your homegirl, I'm not paying for your homegirl meal.
Nope. I think the date might be canceled.
Yeah, like, because you going to show up with your friend. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, because that's mad weird.
This is the waiter?
Right, like, why are you here? You know, that's just super awkward and very, very dumb. Like, very, very dumb. And, you know, unfortunately, this young lady, she's on whatever platform saying these things, and there's gonna be gullible girls that take all of that and be like, yeah, you know what, that's what I'm gonna start doing. No, ladies, no. If a man asks you on a date, first of all, let's start with, if you even think that this person that asks you on a date makes you feel unsafe, unsure, or he gives red flags that he's not a safe person to be around, and then the date is not in a social environment where there's going to be a lot of people, like you said, don't fucking go. Listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, and stay your fucking ass home. That's all. And first of all, can you imagine you telling a guy, you saying to a man that's gonna take you out on a date, oh, by the way, my homegirl gonna be coming with us on a date, so let me know if you got her too.
I'm hanging up the phone.
First of all, you know that nigga is ghosting you. Men, please let us know. Like, are you going to ghost her, or are you going to entertain that shit? Because I feel like most men are going to be like, let me cross her name off the list. Let me go to the next person. Because I don't know what man is going to be like, sure.
Like you said, the date would have been motherfucking canceled, and you would have got your ass blocked. That's it.
That's everything. Weird as fuck.
I was just like, am I listening to this right? Why are you bringing your homegirl? Like, grow up.
And your homegirl needs to grow up, because how do you have a friend who doesn't have the decency and the common sense to say to you, like, girl, you tripping? Mm-hmm. Why would I come on this date with you? Like, why would I entertain this bullshit? Because trust and believe, if any of my friends had asked me that question to sit at the table when they're on a date, I'll be looking like... I remember just having one experience where me and a former friend crashed somebody's date. We didn't know. And it was awkward as fuck, just sitting there and just and the former friend of this person are doing, because this person was buying something off of this person. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, you couldn't have picked another time to do this? You had to do this in the middle of a date in a restaurant? It was so weird. It was so awkward. So can you imagine just even being on a date with your friend and the person that she's talking to? That's even worse. Like, where they do that?
I would have been tight if I was homegirl. Like, and I would have said something like, we're on a date. Why do you need to do this right now?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
is that necessary?
That was just like, yeah, what the fuck is going on here? Embarrassed. That's
me personally, I just don't put a lot of expectations on men when I'm going on a date. Like, as far as money wise, like, I was just always raised that, you know, you go on a date with a guy, make sure you have money in your pocket. Just always make sure that you have money in your pocket. So I'm not gonna go on a date and expect you to always pay for me. Like, you know, like, I'm always gonna make sure I'm good, because who's to say I go on a date with a guy and he's like, oh, well, we want to go half and half and I don't got no money in my pocket.
Right,
yeah, so, and for
washing
women,
dishes, do they still do that?
I don't know, but I think for women, like, we need to get out of that mentality of the guy always have to pay, because you gonna be in that mentality and you gonna end up on a date with a nigga that's like, oh, let's go half and half.
Let's go Dutch.
Exactly. And if you the type of female that don't have no money, don't go on no date.
Exactly.
That's how my mom used to always say that to me. You as a female, I get it, men are supposed to court you, but she's like, if you do not have the funds to go on a date, and she's like, I don't mean getting on a train and a bus to go there. Like, if you don't have money to buy a drink or at least an appetizer, do not take your ass out the house. Keep your ass in the house. And I used to be like, all right. And it's true, because I've been on dates with guys who be like, oh, can you at least put the tip in?
Yeah.
And I would have the money. But what if I didn't have the $5? Now I'm over there thinking I'm getting a fucking free meal and I don't have the coins. So women should just... I'm not saying that a guy can't court you, but do not go on a date if you ain't got no money.
Exactly.
Please don't.
First of all, and like, just to backpack on what Star said, also, like, I was always taught, aside from that, I wasn't taught that because, you know, I grew up in a strict household, so there was no, like, you know, you learn shit through TV and other people's experience. But what I was taught is you never leave the house without no fucking money.
That's pretty much
and
what
your
my
ID,
mom was saying.
you never leave. So it doesn't even, you know, it's applicable to where you need to apply it. But I know that if I go on a date, I got money right here. Because I know not to leave the house without no fucking money. Where am I going? Unless I'm going for a walk in the park. But if I only got $5 in my fucking bank account, I'm not gonna be saying to no fucking person like, yeah, let's go out for drinks and blah blah blah. What? I'm gonna run up my credit card? No. So
it's the same though. It's true. You don't got the money, don't go on a date.
Yeah, don't go out. Like, stop trying to save face. And shit, we might get backlash for this, but I don't care, because, you know, yes, when you date a person and they pay, some people believe like, okay, the guy pays on the first date. Some people believe it could be equal. Some people feel like it could be the woman. It varies from person to person, right? It's you yourself. And obviously the person that you're dating, I would hope that you vetted them enough to know where their head is at, or where their mentality is at, or, you know, subconsciously things that they've said, you read into it. You know what I'm saying? Because people be dropping a lot of gems unknowingly and think that you're not paying attention.
That's true.
And if you truly are paying attention, you're studying this person, then you're going to catch certain shit, because folks will say whatever it is that they have to say when they're relaxed, when they're comfortable, especially for people who have their guard up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So some people are very mindful with what they say, how they say it, because they don't want to give too much. But once they at that state, they'll say certain shit, or even if they're having a conversation with somebody else, you'll catch them saying certain shit that you like, and you take the mental note. So if you happen to hear a woman saying, whether it's on social media or she's with her friends or y'all just having a phone conversation, FaceTime, whatever, and she'd be like, oh, well, I don't think that you, or if she was watching a movie and she's like, oh, I was watching a movie and the guy never paid for the first day and I think that's whack. That's your answer right there. That shows you her expectations of you before y'all physically go somewhere. So that's up to you to make that determination of next. I feel like there's so many signals that are often missed because sometimes folks ain't paying attention. It could be in the word, it could be in the statement, it could be in the action, it could be in the behavior. It's there. We're human. Forget the gender part. We're human. We have traits that are of habit.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
Have I paid for a man? Intimate, non-intimate? Yes. I don't see, like for me, have I been on dates where the guy pays? Yes. Have I also been in experiences where after, I wasn't counting how many dates after, but if I say, let's go out, I'm paying. Yeah. That's how I rationalize when a nigga don't gotta pay, right? Yeah. If I invite you somewhere, I invite you out, I'll say it's my treat or it's on me and I pay. I've been in countless situations where, and even still, when I'm like, oh, it's on me, they'll be like, nah, you good, Neek, you good. I'm like, no, I invited you out, let me pay. No, you good. Because I think that most men don't really believe women who say shit like that.
No, because they get a lot of
they're conditioned.
Yeah. Like my cousin said when he was on his podcast, when he was saying that if he wants to take a girl on a date, he has to already, in his mind, all right, I got to make sure I have enough money for this, and this, like, because they're already conditioned to expect to pay for everything. Mm-hmm. So, when a woman is like, oh, no, child.
We work from home. Fuck that.
That is true. When a woman is like, all right, I'll pay, it's a shocker. Right. Because it's happened to me on dates before where I'll pull out my wallet or pull out my card and a guy would just think that I'm doing that for show. And it's like, no, like, I'm that serious. Like, I would literally half in it. Like, or I would pay. Like, I don't have a problem paying. And I've done it on first dates. And guys would just look at me like I got too fucking shocked. Yeah, and I'm just like, there are probably some women out there that just be pulling it out because they know a guy gonna say no. But when I pull out my card, I'm genuine about it. Like,
yep, or like no. I don't know. I feel like there's gonna be a constant stigma until there is no stigma. Yeah. Who knows how long that'll take, or who knows how that'll be. But I'll tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, in no way, shape, or form should you ever feel obligated. Which I know for the people that are older and mature, and maybe not even older, because there are people who are in their their early 20s, mid 20s, who are very mature too, who their mentality and their judgment is that of a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, you know what I'm saying? But don't pay attention to these young bucks out here who talking all this shit and who think that this is the way, because it ain't. Because honestly, when Star was telling me this shit from what she saw on Twitter, I was just like, huh? What?
Child, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, what the fuck?
Excuse me? First of all, why would I want you, my homegirl, or my homeboy, because it could be a homeboy too. That would be weird, because then it's like, why is there another nigga sitting there? And why am I paying for this nigga to eat and drink on my tab? And it's just the disrespect that falls into all of this. It's the disrespect that you think, like Star said earlier, that this individual is an ATM machine at your leisure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to backtrack on Star saying that about like why most women think that men are ATM machines. And I really feel like it's society and people who still have this old school mentality, whether they grew up in a culture that preached that left and right, or what society preached left and right. A man is not an ATM. I don't view a man as an ATM machine. I never did. Unless you a sugar daddy, that is different. Because sugar daddies know their role, and they know why they're in that role.
Yeah.
I am here to financially keep you happy, right? So if you're not a sugar daddy, I don't look at you as an ATM machine.
Yeah.
But a regular human being who's working just as hard as me, and I'm thinking that I could just milk you dry for what? For the fun of it? To tell my friends, oh, this nigga paid. Because remember, I don't know if you remember years ago, this was a couple of years ago when it was going around, I think it was a situation, and it was like, oh, the bill came out to $250. Like, fellas, are you paying or you not paying? Some shit like that.
Oh, are you expecting pussy out of it or something?
Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Because it's, and the gentleman, they spoke about that too on the podcast. Like, if I'm going to be paying this hefty amount, which, you know, it's like you shouldn't expect pussy anyway.
Yeah.
But if I'm paying $250 on the first date, like, I'm not talking about we rich white people and you got money, so $250 is $50 somewhere else. $250. That's a lot. And then I'm sure there was a tip included in that shit. That's a lot of fucking money.
It is.
I would never, but that is crazy. That is fucking crazy.
This is a really good question too, because I had this conversation with somebody before, and I was like, you know, when I go on a first date with a guy or whatever, or even a date period with a guy, I don't go ham on the menu. That's just me personally, because even though I'm gonna have money in my pocket to make sure that I'm gonna put in or whatever, because I never expect a guy to always pull out his wallet. I'm always willing to pay, but just in case if it is those situations where the guy's like, no, I got it. I never want to OD on the menu.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Because I feel like there are some women that, like I said, go into the expectation of, oh, well, he's gonna pay for me, and they buy all these drinks, the expensive shit on the menu, and that's just never been me. And I remember somebody saying to me like, oh, well, if he's paying for it, why not? And I'm like,
but that's not why you're there in the first place.
Yeah, it's not to be racking up the bill.
Yeah,
it's not to be racking the fucking bill. And, you know, what if this person is like, yeah, I got it, but he really don't have it, but because he's taught that, all right, the first date, I have to pay for it, and I'm running his fucking pocket dry. You know what I mean? Like,
or it could be his last, and he decided to use his last to take you out.
Exactly. And just like how I would do that with a guy that I'm dating, I will also do that with my friends too. Yeah. Like, if I go out with my friends and they like, yo, I got it, I would never try to like get something expensive. Like, you know, I try to be mindful. That's just me, because
same.
I don't know what people have in their, in their
account.
Bank accounts. But
I don't care how much Gucci you wear. that shit could be fake.
So it was just interesting that the person that I was talking to, it was a female that we were just like having a conversation, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. And she was just like, you stupid. Like, if he paying for it, I'm... And that's wow. All right, well, I'll be stupid because I'm going to be mindful of somebody else's pocket. Yeah. And I'm not going on a date with the intentions to fucking rack the bill up. I'm going there to have a conversation with you, and we, you know...
And niggas pay attention. Just like women pay attention, men pay attention to, like I said, habits, behavior, characteristics, traits. They pay attention to shit that you value as an individual. Like I said, push gender aside. You as an individual, what is more important to you? Popping a fucking champagne bottle of Clico at the table and having a fucking 5-course meal, whether it's the first, second, third date, it's like, come on now. Is that necessary? Is that, unless a person says to you, oh, don't worry, you can have order whatever you want. Or if they notice, like, okay, you have like one drink the night and your drink is done and the waiters come over and said, oh, is everything okay? And you're like, oh, I'm good. And the person said, no, go ahead, order another drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, in those situations, people will let you know when it's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait for those cues. Don't take it upon yourself to be like, well, he got it because he took me to a 5-star Michelin restaurant, so that means he got it. No, it's also, you know, people trying to impress you.
That is true.
People will do things to impress you, especially when you finally have physical interaction, to set themselves apart. Because this nigga don't know how many niggas you dating, where he falls on the list of how many dudes you're dating. So with that being said, he gonna do certain shit to impress you. And the same thing with women. We don't know how many bitches y'all got in y'all roster, but
a whole bunch.
But at the same time, yeah, we're gonna be, I mean, for the women who are true to themselves, they'll be their real selves and their honest, truthful selves, but they'll do certain things to pique your interest, to impress you as a human being, just to impress you, you know. So I'm sorry, there's some crazy ass shit going on out here that
it really is.
I'm like, yo, it can just all be simple. Like I said earlier, it could just all be simple if the communication, the transparency, and the honesty is there. You really start off with that, you should be straight. Like, you should be straight. Since we're on the dating topic, MJ, I seen she had I don't know if you had seen it, but she had posted, was it yesterday or the day before? She posted, because we've talked about this, right? And I know this is like veering off topic a little bit, but I guess this could be like the third part of the segment.
I mean, we just be on
here, we talking and whatever.
You know, whatever happened in the week, what we came across.
Yeah. So, or things that we see. So she had asked a question on IG, and it was, what do you define dating as? And I was like, oh shit, I'm like, look at that. I don't know if this was just a random question, like a thought in her head, or she had seen something. Yeah. And, you know, I responded, and I was like, well, how do you define dating? Some shit like that. And I said, well, for me, dating, and I also had seen something else right after that too. Like, dating is you're dating multiple people to narrow down who you want to obviously take the next step with, but it has to be mutual, right? And that's the point of dating, is navigating through that experience to get to who it is that wants or shares the same ideals as you. And then I had seen something else that had, you know, it was about, I think I had sent it to you. It was a woman where she was talking, it was a TikTok video. Oh, and she was and she was talking about the difference between talking and dating. And it's crazy how this is just a constant topic.
It's a constant debate too.
It's like, listen,
people were talking about it on Twitter, not that specific video,
but just in general.
Yeah,
talking is I'm on the phone, I'm texting you, and we've never gone anywhere. Yeah. And I'm just talking to you. Talking
for like entertainment reasons,
yeah,
I guess.
Dating is, yes, inclusive of, yeah, we're talking to each other because we got to communicate. So, you know, we're on the phone, FaceTime, whatever. But also physical connection, physical interaction. We go out. We spend time together. But at the same time, you differentiate between I'm dating to have fun or I'm dating to marry. But what they share in common is you have a roster of people you want to date. I'm going on a date with this person. I'm like, why is it when it comes to the black community, they don't know the difference between dating and talking? Folks, white people, when they date multiple people. They go out. They get to know the person also by going out and physically having an interaction with that person. They're not spending hours and hours just talking on the phone and never seeing each other's face. This ain't fucking catfish.
It's not. Is it because, like, people will be trying to downplay certain situations? Because I've had this conversation before with other people, and for some reason, people think that, oh, if we went out together, like, to grab something to eat or went to the movies, that's talking, that's not dating. And I'm like, that's not talking, that's actually dating, because you guys went out on a date, like the girl said in the video, like, this is a date. You're taking me to the movies. We're going out to grab food. Like, it's a date. That's not talking. So I don't know if people be trying to downplay it, like, to make it seem like, oh, well, that person's not that serious because we're not dating, it's just talking.
And you
but
should
it's
be
like,
taking that person out.
Exactly. Because for me, talking is, we talk here and there. It's not consistent. That's how I see talking. Like, oh yeah, I talk to this person here and there. Like, that's how I see it. But if I'm dating you, then we talk on a consistent basis. And we go out here, we're going on dates. But you know, you're dating other people. But then you have other, like you said, you narrow it down. And you start dating that person exclusively. Where there's nobody else there to distract. And y'all get to know each other more. Because now, I feel like when you're getting to know somebody with other people in a picture is different than when it's just you two connecting and nobody's there to distract. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then that's when you decide, like, okay. Because obviously, if you're going to exclusively date this person without anybody else around in the picture, that means that in your mind, you want to take it to the next level, right?
Yes. So
that's how I see it. Like, and I've seen on Twitter, and people just like, we need to remove this whole talking thing. Like, talking is dating. Like, like, they're just like, why is there a talking stage? There's no such thing as a talking stage. Because if you meet somebody, let's say I am walking outside with a Neek, we're just walking, I don't know, in fucking Harlem, and a guy approaches me and is like, oh, I want to take you on a date. When are we fucking talking? If I go on a date with him and I feel a connection and we continue to go on dates, there's no talking stage. We're dating. And then if it decides to blossom, it blossoms. But, like, I feel like talking would be like a fuck buddy or somebody, because a fuck buddy is not somebody you talk to on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
like you just hit them up when you want sex.
They play their role.
But as far as, I just feel like those two do not.
Yeah, they don't coincide with each other. Like, I don't know who, like, when I'm talking to this person, a lot of people equate talking to dating, and it's like, or messing around. It's like, what? Because
messing around is just messing around. Like, that's not really, I wouldn't
consider
really dating
that person.
Yeah. And if you was to say to me, like, oh, Star, I'm talking to this person, and you telling me that you went on a date with this person, in my mind, I'm not going to look at it as talking. I'm like, okay, she dating this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Because of the things that they done. But I agree with some of the people on Twitter. Like, get rid of that fucking talking stage. Yes. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
It is stupid.
The talking stage and the dating stage. Because
what does it actually mean? What comes out of talking to a person? Does talking lead to dating?
Hard dick and bubble gum.
Right. Like, talking, I'm talking to such and such. Okay, you're talking, and you know, oh, you're talking to this person. How long you and this person been talking? Have y'all ever been out together? No, we just been talking. Y'all been talking for months and y'all never went out. How much talking can you possibly do? That person not interested in you. To take you out and spend money on you or whatever the fucking case may be. So y'all just talking to get to know each other. At that point, you my fucking homie. Because the intimacy and all that shit is just out the window at that point. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know. It's just weird. But that young lady, you know, she definitely made great points, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, we literally talked about this not too long ago, and it's crazy how it's just being brought up again, because it's just, come on, like, at what point in time do we just say, this shit don't make no fucking sense, this shit is fucking stupid? Like, talking at 32 years old, I'm gonna be talking to you?
Yeah, at a certain age, come on. I see somebody on Twitter say, like, they were just like, oh, don't tell me that you're dating for fun, because to me, I'm going to see that as you just have multiple fuck buddies.
If that person wants to...
I was like, wait, what?
In their mind, put it together that way, that's on them.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, what?
Because my thing is, who does that apply to? Does that only apply to the black community, the Hispanic community? White people been doing this shit from the dawn of time. They date, fuck, date, fuck. Sometimes they date all the men or women that they fuck. Did I say that right? They
date all the women or men that they
yeah. They'll go out to eat and then they're like, all right, back at my place, nightcap. We see this in movies and this shit happens in real life. So that's fuck. And they never see that person again sometimes. They're like, I didn't like this person. Next. That's not a fuck buddy. A fuck buddy is, sometimes they tend to be like, they're there to be consistent. Like, oh, okay, this person is in my back pocket when I'm horny. Let me hit this person up. So if you dating and you decide, okay, I'm dating multiple individuals and you pick out who you want to fuck, that's not a fuck buddy.
Yeah. I wonder if that person, because I'm trying to dissect it and try to understand, because I can't physically talk to that person.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they
we should add them on Twitter.
Right? Damn, I will have to find that tweet because I be retweeting and liking that shit. I wonder if they meant it as like, let's say, like, for example, me, I'm dating to potentially find somebody to be in a committed relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be dating multiple people, and then some of those people I might have sex with, but the end goal is for me to find that one person that I want to commit to. Where you have some people that are not thinking about, like, they're just dating and they're not thinking about wanting to commit to somebody. They just want to be single, so they're just fucking a bunch of people. So I wonder if that person is thinking of it is that still dating? Because you're not dating to, because you know, like, some people equate dating of like that being the next step to, because after dating, what is the next step after dating? Like, you go
relationship,
into a community. Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, if your mindset is just, oh, I want to be single and I just want to hang out with women, like go here and go there and just have sex, like I'm not looking for the end goal to be in a committed relationship, would that still be considered dating? I'm trying to dissect it, because if you're saying, oh, don't say that you're dating multiple women that you're fucking, because then that shit means you're a fuck buddy. That's the only thing I could think of.
We need to find that person.
Yeah,
we need to find that person.
Because would that technically be dating if you're just out there just because you don't want to be in a committed relationship? You just, oh, I'm gonna go to the movie with this girl because I just want to fuck, or I'm gonna take her out to eat because I just want to fuck.
Dating is dating. What you decide to do with that person sexually, that's between you and that person. But I don't think that ties into, for what that person tweeted, I don't think it equates to being a fuck buddy. You know what I'm saying? Because a fuck buddy, unless you want to have fuck buddies, but that's a whole different ball game. So yeah, I see what you're saying. There are people who just date and they're like, oh, okay, whatever, let's get busy and go about their business or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. I wouldn't.
That could just be thotting and bopping.
I guess our term thotting and bopping. I mean, but then that's the thing too. That's not really being a hoe, because that's another thing that has to be deconstructed. If you want to fuck whoever you want to fuck, you're not a hoe. But you know, that shit is labeled amongst women, on women. Men are expected to sow their seed, and
men, you are hoes too.
Yeah, you know. But when you really think about it, like, why is it hoe behavior if you want to just fuck whoever you want to fuck? And if it's multiple people you want to fuck, why does that make you a hoe? It's crazy, because there's so much shit that is so not complicated, but the human race
just
makes it so complicated, and people as individuals make certain things just complicated when it should not be. You know,
it's true.
Because dating versus talking, that shouldn't be complicated to the point that you got, you know, people making videos and shit about that. You know what I'm saying? Or even, oh, if I date you, I'm bringing my homegirl on a date and you paying for her. And the concept of a man is supposed to do ABC. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I grew up in a very traditional Caribbean family, which most Caribbean culture have this idea of the man is the provider, the man does A, B, C, D, blah, 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 blah. Whether the motherfucker got 2 families, 3 families, he's a provider. He does what he got to do for his family. Does that mean that I go out into these streets? I mean, there's some Caribbean gals that do this, but I'm not one of those Caribbean gals.
Glad you emphasize it like that.
But you know, that I'm not one of those individuals that goes out and expects a man to be an ATM machine. That whatever I say goes and you have to fork over your wallet and pay. Whether that's us going out somewhere or a gift or something. You know what I'm saying? Something that I see or I expect you to buy me this. No.
But this is a good question too. I know, society, they teach us that the man is always the provider, especially if you grow up, like you say, in a Caribbean household. Mm-hmm. Or even like an old school Black household, it's always the man is the provider. And I just always say to myself, like, why can't women be providers too? I mean, at the end of the day, the man, he goes, if we think about that old school mentality, the man goes to work to make money to pay the bills. But the woman is also providing too, because she's making sure that the kids are good. She's making sure that there's food on the table, that the kids are eating and the man is eating when he come home from a long day of work. She's making sure that, the house is good. So why is that not considered being a provider too? Why is it only the man? Because I'm sure there are men who, that grow up in that old school mentality that expect things of a woman to do. That's still kind of being a provider. Most so definitely. It shouldn't just.
And some women are the breadwinner.
Exactly.
But the man is. But they set aside.
Yeah.
And let the man provide, like he's the breadwinner of the family.
To me, I think both the man and the woman are the providers. If you think about it,
you're equal.
It's not just he going to work and he's putting but you making sure the house is straight.
And maybe that is why. That adds to why men think, when I come home from a hard days of work and I faced all of what society has thrown at me for the day, after you done fed the kids, bathed them, done all this shit, we ate dinner, and now I'm a little horny, so you gotta give me some pussy because I just went through it for the day. I'm the breadwinner of this family, so I provide. I'm a provider. So you gotta give me the pussy.
And who's keeping the family afloat? It ain't just you.
It's the woman. Women are the arcs of the family. Period.
Mm-hmm. What's that saying they say? I've seen it a lot in movies, and I hear a lot of old people say this, and they're like, like older women, they say the man is the head of the household, but the woman is the neck, and she can control. Yes. And it's like, it's so true, because when you think about it, it's always the man is this, the man is that, but the woman is the one who's helping him and leading him in those directions. He's not doing it by himself.
Mm-hmm. Which, this will be probably the last one. Which brings me into Jeannie, remember when she was talking about being submitted? And she faced equal amounts of supporters and backlash, but to what Star said about that statement, I'm gonna submit in a way that makes sense, but I'm also gonna be running shit. Mm-hmm. And if y'all don't know, I think she said this like a week ago, or maybe it's been 2 weeks, I don't know. And she was just like, that she practiced in her previous marriage and she'll practice this in her next marriage, to be submissive to her husband. She's like, it's not diminishing her as an individual, as a character, as a woman, etc. It's saying, there's certain decision-making skills that I'm going to allow my husband to make. I'm not going to step on his toes. Mm-hmm. I'm going to allow him to lead certain things that he can lead. And I'm sure if it comes to her having to lead their household and make certain decision-making skills, her spouse will give her that respect. But so I went in the comments, and there was a lot of women who were agreeing, because this stigma of, this is a whole nother fucking podcast episode about to happen. Yeah, about women being submissive, and the whole like Black woman not being submissive. You know what I'm saying?
Bad.
It's a horrible stereotype, and it's a horrible lie, because I seen several posts, and it said a woman will submit to the right man.
It's true.
You think a woman is gonna just submit to every motherfucker that comes across, be like, yes, at your back? No. And also understand submissiveness. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about submissive, like, I'm on my knees and you walking through the door and say. I'm like, the master is home. That's not it.
Yeah.
That's not it. That's not what that means. Which obviously that definition has been perverted and just changed in the patriarchal society for men to think like, oh, which ties into why men, when they compare black women and white women, or Asian women, well, that's why I date white and Asian women, because they're submissive. That's also disrespectful to their culture, because that's not it either. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand.
She made a key point though when she said that. She said, but we will communicate with each other first and come to a mutual agreement, and then he'll lead. And that is the key thing, because when people hear submissive, they think, oh, just a yes man. And it's like, no, I'm going to allow him to lead the household as a man, but we're going to also have those conversations and come to an agreement. It's not going to just be him making a decision.
Yeah, you're in a relationship by yourself. You're not married to yourself. If you want to lead and do whatever the fuck you want, then stay single.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the misconception that black women are not submissive, which is a complete fabrication. Black women will allow men to do what is necessary and what is right for the family dynamic and for the relationship. Obviously, like Star said, communication, which you see folks, how this all ties in to the beginning. Communication, transparency, honesty. When your foundation is built off of those pillars, yeah, you're gonna lead, baby, but we're gonna talk about it first. You ain't gonna go dip in my motherfucking bank account and do whatever the fuck you want to do and lead. No. We are too. Fuck what the Bible said about. Oh, that came off wrong. That came out so.
God knows your heart.
Yeah, that came out so wrong, y'all. I'm not saying fuck the Bible. That's not what I'm saying, because a lot of because a lot of these things also stem from the Old Testament, and a lot of people, I'm sure a huge portion of the people that we are friends with, family, followers, we grew up in the church, in religious households. So a lot of that Old Testament, the wife must submit to the husband. This is why a lot of people run with that.
True.
But forgetting that the day and age, the culture, and all that stuff was different, because there was a whole lot of different shit going on centuries ago versus now. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm sure when Noah went to build the ark, I'm sure he confided in his wife. I'm sure he talked to her and said whatever the hell he had to say. And then boom. Okay, baby, build the ark. A lot of the times men do look for their women to give them the okay.
Yeah, they'll communicate with their wife, like, or girlfriend, whatever. Like, I want to do this. What do you think? And they take that advice too. And it's crazy to me, because I'm like, white women are not submissive in my eyes, because I've seen
Asian women.
Yeah, I've seen in relationships, like with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. I've seen it in movies and shows where the white women have a lot of opinions, and they can come off a little. No, we're not doing this. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know where this concept came of white women and Asian women are submissive and black women are not.
Right.
I think what you have said ties in with all women. Like, any woman would be submissive to a guy for the right guy.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, me as a woman, I'm not going to be submissive to a guy who is not responsible, who lies, who doesn't communicate.
Manipulates.
Exactly. I'm not going to be submissive to you. But if I see that you're a good leader and you communicate well and we work as a team, exactly, and we work as a team, of course I'm going to be submissive. Yep. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be a yes man, but if you come to me with something and we talk about it, I'm going to let you lead the way. But,
like, this ain't, the blind leading the fucking blind.
Yeah.
Like, no. So, I just felt like that also had to be, and it's true, like, I have Asian friends, I know white people, and these women are some strong, like they got some strong fucking personalities. So this whole, she's Asian, so she gonna be submissive, which is also fucked up, because that ideology of men dating outside of their race, and you know who I'm talking about, the men who solely date certain races of women because of that submissive shit and thinking that they're gonna get a yes man, it's fucked up, because that's not the reason that you should be dating somebody. Inside, outside your race. That shouldn't be the sole drive as to why you should be, oh, well, she's submissive and these black women, they won't shut the fuck up. No. If you say, baby, I want to invest in this company, this is how much it is, this is how much I want us to put in, right? Would you think that a mature woman is not going to put research into what you're talking about? Look into the company, look into the stock, how well they're doing, because that's like a whole project within itself. You think I'm just going to blindly say, yeah, take $5,000 and go invest in this fucking company? No!
Absolutely not.
That's not being submissive. That's not allowing you to lead. Just irrationally letting you make dumb decisions is not letting you lead. Where are you leading us? Into fucking debt? Into the ground? Into poverty? That's where you're leading us? So you want to lead so bad, but you don't know how to be a fucking leader.
True.
You don't know how to use your fucking head, your intellect. You just jump on the bandwagon and do whatever the fuck the next person is doing. I'm not going to entrust in you to lead my fucking family. You going to lead my kid off a fucking bridge? Yo, come on. I heard as soon as you jump in, that shit opens up like the Red Sea. Like, part of it.
Yo, I'm done with you.
You think I'm going to let you jump off the fucking bridge with my fucking kid? Fuck out of here. Bye. I can give me another husband.
I feel like men who just want to have that control of being the leader and want their wife or longtime spouse to be submissive. To me, I look at it as you have some type of insecurity. Like, you just have to be in control. Like, and for me, I wouldn't want to be with a man like that.
Yeah.
Because if I have to dim my voice to let you shine, no, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Not saying that I want to be overpowering and I want to, like, dim your voice, but I'm not going to sit here and not have an opinion and not say something because you want to look like this big macho man who's in the lead, and no, I lead the way and you just follow. No, it's not going to work out.
Exactly.
And that's stuff that you will know when you start dating somebody. You would pick up those qualities.
Yes.
People say I be looking into shit too much, but I just really be paying attention. Like, I pick up on everything and I really do pay attention, and the littlest things would let me know certain things. Like, I might see it and just be like, you know what, this is a little odd, but, you know, I'm going to keep going to see if something else is going to confirm this. Like, you know, because I don't want to jump to the bandwagon. But after a while, them red flags be there. You don't want to be a man like that.
Exactly.
I learned that on a freaking... I told you about that date with the Indian guy when I went back to his house. And we were, like, talking. The one that was, like, so in love with me, he called me his black princess.
Yes. Him. Y'all done forgot about his act. Yes. He was a doctor, right?
Yeah, he was a doctor.
Yes.
And for me, the red flag was... We were talking, and because he's a doctor or whatever, and I don't know how we got into the whole topic of childbirth, and I was like, for me personally, I would want to do a water birth. I don't want to give birth in a hospital. Just stuff that I've seen, research, like, especially with black women in the hospital, that's just not my thing. And he just got so, like, irate and just upset and was like, well, if you're going to be my wife, you're not having a water birth. And I was like, who are you to tell me what to do with my body? Then he like showed me a picture of his family, like a family portrait, and was like, oh, you see her? And I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, she's in a wheelchair because she wasn't born in a hospital. Her mom had a water birth. And I was just like, okay, and what does her experience have to do with me?
Right.
And that right there was a red flag for me, because I was like, you like to be in control, and whatever opinions I have does not matter. And after that date, I cut him off. Nope, not doing it. Because, like, I don't want to be with a man who has control over my body.
Even a dictatorship.
Yeah, no. Not gonna work.
Yeah, men. Our bodies are our bodies, not yours. So shut the fuck up. Period. Poo. Well,
that was a good episode.
I guess that's it, guys. You know,
we gotta get ready for this.
Yeah, we got birthday celebrations, so you know, you guys can look forward to, you know, homegirl over here. Her birthday is in
next week.
Next Sunday.
Next Sunday, yeah.
Next Sunday. We about to enter Scorpio season. Ugh.
Yay! Scorpio season.
Simmer down. It's still Libra season, but
fuck Libras. No, let me stop, because I know some Libras that's hella cool.
Yeah, so you know, Scorpio season. Well, by the time the next episode we record it'll be her birthday and it'll be Scorpio season.
Somebody tweeted that they was like, "Oh, the what they said, Scorpio season is approaching," and I had retweeted and I was like, "That's the best season." Because you know, Scorpios, we be wilding the fuck out.
Oh Lord,
be ready.
I guess. Ready for what? But
child, you better stop.
I better stop. Okay. Okay. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in again. And
make sure y'all subscribe, comment, like,
suggest.
Yeah, leave us comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We definitely don't have a problem coming here talking.
Yeah. A lot of our topics tend to be from, you know, you beautiful viewers.
Yeah. And our experiences too.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you for joining us. And this is Just the Podcast.
Deuces.